This is Sean Fagan. I am now joined by the president of Clarion University, Dr. Dale Elizabeth Pehrsson. Uh, Dr. Dale, really, it's not hyperbole to say these are unprecedented times at Clarion University and across the country with some of the response that we've seen to COVID-19, also known as coronavirus. If you could, Dr. Dale, let's look back a couple weeks ago when all of these changes were going on across the country. You and your council were taking the time to make these decisions for how to proceed safely and securely on our campus. What was that decision-making process like?
Hey man, we think that times are insane and compressed and kind of weird now, but really a few weeks ago, our students had just come back from spring break. We were about a week or 2 weeks ahead of most of the Pehrsson schools. We and also Mansfield had our breaks about a week earlier than 2 weeks earlier than everyone else. So our students had all come back. Most of them had not been impacted by the spread of the coronavirus across the world. We had very few students who had traveled internationally and faculty who had traveled internationally, but we knew that as remote as we are in the northwest part of Pennsylvania, we knew that eventually we would have some kind of impact because the world is in fact international. We have a lot of international faculty, students, coaches, and so forth. So here we go. So that's what we were thinking about. Okay, we're a week or two ahead of everybody else. What do we need to know? So we pulled together our emergency response team, which was composed of faculty leadership, campus leadership, student affairs leadership, our health and wellness team, different constituents from the campus, our student representation. We had student members on the team as well. And we said, okay, what do we need to do? What are the first things? And the first priority is how do we keep and assess that everyone is safe? And so keeping abreast of everything that was going on in the World Health Organization, the Pennsylvania Department of Health, what was coming out of the health information out of the Dr. Levine's office, with the governor's office, and all the things that were going on, we said, okay, what are the best decisions and what's our number one priority? Well, it was simple. Our number one priority was how do we keep our campus, our students, our faculty and staff and community safe? So that was pretty easy. And we made decisions based on the information we were getting. But as the COVID-19 disease started to spread, and it was pretty clear that coronavirus, we were just keeping a few feet ahead of it, or a few metaphorical feet ahead of it. It was pretty clear we needed to get our students safe, contained, and home. Now, of course, we have some students, and in the beginning, many of our athletes were still going to be very involved in training, practices, working with their coaches. So at the beginning, it was like, okay, well, we can contain this part of it, and these are the decisions we had to make. Well, if you've been following the Johns Hopkins map and then the World Health Organization, once it was declared a pandemic, we were like, okay, that's off the table now. Now we have to move to phase 2. And phase 2 was basically get everybody off campus who could leave. And a lot of things, things were changing from moment to moment. But one thing that I have to say about our coronavirus response team, we had about 20 members. We met daily. Every morning at about 8 or 8:30 in the morning, we met, the team checked in, we decided on updates, but sometimes many subgroups met during the day. So it was 24/7 coverage, and we were making decisions in real time. So we'd have a plan all developed, and then suddenly the governor would say, okay, now we've got this pandemic, stay at home in these counties, and okay, time to rechange. And so I must admit, this as stressful as that was, everyone said, okay, we can roll with this. We can make decisions and we can suspend plans and go with the next best plan. So the leadership and the involvement and the input from all the constituents was pretty strong. And I gotta say, I was pretty darn impressed. Clarion, I always say, is small, but mighty. And that doesn't mean the stature of our people is small. It means that we're small in numbers, but we are mighty in our ability to pull together. So we did. And so then we decided the next step was close down campus, which meant, our student athletes needed to leave. Some of our students couldn't leave. We have some students who are homeless, international, or have no place to go because they were in high impact disease areas. So we made decisions, okay, how do we keep them here, keep them studying, making sure that they can eat and be safe and so forth. So yeah, so who knew that yesterday or the day before we would wind up with the whole state's now at stay at home, and we are all working from home. We can.